As promised, we are on a different platform. It's going to be super clear for y'all. It's tough hosting a podcast on the road with, I literally have 1 megabyte download, 2 whatever bytes upload right now in the middle. I'm in Seattle right now.
Yeah,
So
we tried to start on OBS, which is I think what we usually go on. And we were like,
Yes.
actually, let's try Riverside since the Wi-Fi was so bad for Ben. And Ben was like, I think it's you guys' Wi-Fi. Like, I don't think it's my Wi-Fi. And he like disconnected it, and Sajko and I were like, I don't know if that's true. And then he sent us a picture of his megabits per second, and it's literally less than
it's
one.
my Wi-Fi.
Less than one. That's crazy. I've never even seen Wi-Fi that low.
So
But,
that's why we've been having
microwave.
technical difficulties in the past, because I've been hosting everything on the road with Starlink Wi-Fi, and sometimes, it's like 10 gigabytes of download. So we're just going to do Riverside from now on. It's crispy and clear. Like, for example, I can't see Sajko or Jay Millie. They're just frozen sticks. But to you, I know they are high quality.
I think you cut out.
Yeah, I
but
think you cut out, Ben. Oh, no.
unfortunate for the program.
Oh, no.
I wonder if on Riverside we can do our little intro music.
If we can, it's not the end of the world, really.
I love the intro. I want the intro.
Well, that means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it appears that we have lost Ben, at least for the time being. So we will get rolling. What do you want to talk about, Sajko?
Oh, let's dive into it. I'm not going to lie. I was out of it for a second because I thought we were going to restart, but we're here. We're doing it. So first we're going to start, Josh, with your video that you put up, which you have quoted as your longest video. I think it came in at like 37 minutes-ish, correct?
Yes, it did. And yes, I think we can hear you, Ben.
Okay.
Something?
Dude, Ben
Yeah.
is back.
I'm back. Dude, this is going to be tough, but show
You were
goes
just
on.
hitting on the mic, and it was just going. And I was like, yeah, we can hear you. Like, I didn't want to interrupt Sajko while he was talking, but...
Jeez.
This is a podcast.
So, yeah, Ben may be here for parts of the episode, but he may also not be here because he's got 1 megabyte per second. Megabit, I think.
Anyways, your
yes.
longest video that you have done yet, I did get to watch it, and I let Josh know this ahead of time, but I have not been able to share my thoughts on it yet.
Yes.
Josh, are there any things that you want to share with the people before we kind of get into it and give our thoughts, I guess?
Yeah. I feel like something people don't think about when it comes to my videos is like they'll hear me say, "Oh, 37-minute video. It's his longest video ever." So yeah, it probably took longer. But to put it into context, I'm doing as much as I do on a 37-minute video as I do on a 15 or 10 or 20-minute video. And so when you think about it, you know, like with a typical video, I kind of break it up into like putting all the clips in and coming up with a story. And then I'll start going through and adding text and polishing it up and doing all the zooms and making graphics and then doing music. And so it's kind of like in stages. And so when it comes to like, you know, putting together the story is usually like, I don't know, similar amount of time. Like obviously this one took a little bit longer, but what takes forever for me is when I'm like, I call it polishing the video. Like doing the zooms and doing graphics and doing little jokes and whatever. And so
I have something.
yeah, stuff like that. And so for like a 15-minute video, you know, I'm spending 20 hours, maybe not 20, but like a lot of time. For this 37-minute video, it is exactly, you know, 2 times whatever I spend on a 15-minute video. You know, it took me I was supposed to post it last Monday. Well, in my head, my own timeline. My goal was to post it last Monday. And I believe that I had like the story and flow and everything situated by last weekend. And just over the last week and this weekend, I spent the entire time just adding music, making sure everything was crisp, adding text, all that stuff. And so when I'm doing like these bigger productions and stuff, it's just a grind, you know? Like as I've mentioned many a time, I still work full time. This isn't my job yet, so I'm doing this in my free time. I obviously don't make enough money from it to have an editor to help me do it, so it's just a grind. But I mean, my thoughts on the video are, I think it's one of my best videos yet. It's really long. I think I did a good job of telling a story that's like disc golf adjacent, and I'm proud of the way I did it. And I think it ties up pretty good at the end as well. I'm not proud of how I played disc golf. I can tell you that for sure. But I think the video's good, and that's what matters. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying it jokingly, it kind of sounds like, but no, that is true. It is kind of what matters. So I will provide my thoughts because I was able to watch it. Not entirely, but I got to watch most of it. And you said that you think it's one of your best videos ever, but I think it is your best video ever.
Ooh.
And I'm sure there was a lot of, and I could be wrong, there's probably a lot of anxiety that went into making something like this because it's you trying stuff that is new. And at least in the sense of like a longer amount of time. So to hold like people's attention, I'm sure is a task all on its own. So I guess I have like a couple little questions that I will tackle that kind of like help you provide context for other things in the video. So
Yeah.
Did you have anxiety doing something like this? Because the way that you started talking about it, it kind of seemed like you wanted everything to be absolutely perfect because it's sort of a new well, not a new direction, but you know what I'm saying. You're trying something different, so you want it to be the absolute best that it can be.
Yeah, I would definitely say that I had anxiety. For those who know YouTube or don't really know it, watch time is a very big deal in terms of like if a video gets pushed to people, and it's not based on a percentage of your video. It's based on just the number of minutes someone watches your video. So by posting a longer video, my watch time on this video is like, oh my gosh, your average watch time is up 4 minutes. And so YouTube looks at that, and I'm sure they understand that, I posted a longer video. But from my understanding is, since it's a higher number, it gets pushed harder. So when I'm, a week ago when the video's like story is finished, I'm thinking, oh frick, it's like 40 minutes long. That means that this video is probably going to get pushed to more people, regardless, because it's going to be way higher than my watch time average on my other videos. And so, yeah, there's a level of like, oh gosh, like this one's going to get in front of more eyes probably. So yeah, I want to tell a really good story, and I want to keep people engaged, and there is some anxiety there. And like, am I telling a good enough story that will keep people watching a 40-minute video? Like, it's definitely, I mean, it's a 40-minute video. It's definitely a little bit slower. I have a few montages in there, and like, that's really not something that's in disc golf a ton. It's more of like the other content I consume. Like disc golf's most of the time just cut and dry people playing disc golf, and there's not a lot of like more vloggy stuff. Like Simon's kind of doing more of that nowadays, and there are other people trying that. But yeah, like you have said, it's definitely a little experimental. Obviously, like, yeah, this is definitely like a tester kind of thing. Like, I've done it before, and I think we talked about it on the podcast, but when I made that video, I investigated an abandoned disc golf course. I don't play disc golf till 8 minutes in. And that video performed very well. So I knew that, there's a market for, disc golf adjacent content pretty much. And that's kind of what this video is centered around. So, yeah. And then there's also like the idea of, and we talked about this on the podcast before, but I don't like just being like, I threw this shot, and so now I'm 4 strokes behind my goal, and now I have a 250-foot hyzer, and oh man, I missed that putt. Darn. Like, there's always going to be a little bit of that, but I want to, talk about the thoughts in my head and have some kind of like story arc. And, you know, sometimes the story arc's going to be, man, my mental game was really bad. And that's the end of the story. You know, like there's no resolution to that. But it's a story, you know, and I can talk about how things went bad and what I was thinking about. And, you know, I don't know how far you got in the video, but my friends and I are going through a book in our Bible study, and there was this quote, and it was like, a great athlete gets bruised but still conquers, or something like that. And when we read that, I was like, I'm going to put this in a video. And so on the final round, right before the final round starts, I'm like, I say something like, my first 2 rounds were not very good, and I was pretty upset with myself, but there's a quote I read in a book, and then I put it there, and I was like, dude, this is just like, I just want, well, first of all, I want people to know how much I care about this stuff, and I want to be creative and make things that people want to watch and enjoy watching, you know. But like, that was just hilarious to me, and also just fit perfectly, you know. Like, I played horrible, and I wanted the 3rd round to like really, you know, prove myself. And, you know, no spoilers, but I might have, who knows.
Dang, dude. I have some other points here, but yeah, sorry, Ben. I know that you haven't been able to like give any thoughts. I don't know. Have you been able to watch the video?
Keep talking. No, I don't have time to watch anything ever.
And that's completely understandable. I hear you. So I guess next, some things that I noticed and why I feel like it's the best video that you've done. So Josh, you've always been very good at editing. But what I feel like I've noticed over time is your editing per se has not gotten better. It feels like the storytelling and the timing of edits, or like that is really where this video is shining through. Like, you make stories so compelling and it provides so much substance that I feel like is not really present in disc golf, where you're talking about like a disc golf tournament, which, with all due respect to the disc golf tournament, I think only people within disc golf would care about that. And I feel like someone, like a general audience, would be able to watch that and be like, hold on, I want this town to win. What's going on here? Like, why do I care about this? And I feel like that's where you've really grown, and why, like, the numbers show. And so, like, a bunch of people are feeling that as well. So I want to give you your flowers in that regard.
Well, dude,
because
I think
it's been fun to watch.
Thanks. That's kind of what I was talking about, you know? Like, you know, I want people to come for the idea but stay for the story, you know? Like, the idea is, like, they see my thumbnail and my title is, I played a canceled disc golf tournament, or I played a canceled pro tour event. Right. You know, and it kind of shows what the event is. And, you know, if you're a disc golfer, you know the event and you kind of know some of the history and like why it was canceled already. If you're a non-disc golfer, you're like, oh, what? Why? You know? And so in the first little bit of the video, I try to contextualize it. And then, yeah, the rest of the video is me talking about why it was canceled and like why, you know, it failed, but what they're trying to do to be better and whatever, you know, and like, yeah, I appreciate that. I want to continue to get better at that kind of stuff. It really, I've been thinking about it recently, and I feel like part of the reason I've gotten better at it is I watch too much YouTube, honestly, and I feel like there's an innate sense of like when to cut and when to like build up to something, or like when to put a joke, or like the pauses in a video. Like, sometimes I'll watch someone's video and I'll be like, dude, this is way too fast. You know, like I don't have time to breathe. Or then I'll watch someone's video and I'll be like, okay, well, this is the most boring thing I've watched in my entire life. You know, and I've talked about it on here. There's a time to be fast and there's a time to slow down. And, you know, as humbly as I can say this, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of when and why to do that. You know, like if you go watch some of my intros, it's like boom, 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 boom. Oh, haha, I'm almost as old as this tournament, you know? And then it's like boom, 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 boom. And then it's like, you know, a little beat of rest, you know? And like being dynamic so that a viewer doesn't get used to a certain pace, right? Yes. Yeah. Good pun.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, it was not intentional, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
What was my other thought? Well, at least like a closing type of question that I have is, um, does all the effort that you put into this feel worth it? Or do you feel like you would more so be kind of sticking with your usual amount of time?
Uh, I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with the amount of effort I put into each video.
Hmm.
My view of it is I'm making these videos to be watched for the next 20 years, you know? Like if these videos continue, if these videos are getting views in like 5 or 10 years, that's like when it's going to be more worth it to me because, if in 5 to 10 years they're getting 0 views, it's a little bit of like, man, I spent 50 to 60 hours on that video and I made $100, like to be completely transparent, that's what does that work out to? Less than $10 an hour? That is
Yeah,
not
dude.
super duper worth it to me.
Now that I'm behind the current on Gannon's videos, bro, I thought YouTubers are making money if you got like 10,000 view, 50 even 50,000 views, but no, it's like a couple $100
Yeah.
for like a 50,000 view video, which is like pretty hard to get in disc golf. So I'm like, bruh, yeah, it's tough to make it full time just solely off revenue. You need like sponsors and
Yeah, and that's where I'm super grateful. And that's honestly where it becomes worth it because I think I have my sponsors and the sponsorships on my videos and the things that I have in the sport because I put so much effort in it. So it's not just, directly the money from YouTube to the amount of effort I'm putting in because I got all the other stuff too. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, regardless, it's worth it. It would be more worth it if in 10 years people were still watching these videos that I put out now. And like a big thought I have is, I'm sure I'll continue to get better at editing and like maybe more cinematic and all those things. But it'd be cool if someone watched my video that I post in 10 years and then they watched the video I posted today and were like, wow, it's not that much different. They're both really good videos and it's not like he was slacking back then, I don't know. I like to take some pride in that. And I also like to take pride in the idea of like, there's nothing I regret about this video, Like I didn't leave out anything or I didn't give my all at some point. I put all the edits in I wanted. I did a lot of funny and like sometimes hard things for me to like put together, like some of those segments I spent an hour getting the timing or doing whatever edit I did to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Like I make all those graphics, I scoured through Broderick's YouTube channel, found that picture, and then I made that in Photoshop, So yeah, I don't know. I would say yes, worth it. More, yeah, I already said that. So
Was there a point? So, for any listener that didn't listen last week, if they were able to listen to this part, I don't know if it actually came through. We kind of talked about the difference between like putting 100% into something that you do and 80%. If at any point, Josh, did you think about like actually doing that with this video and being like, should I just do 80% or should I just send it and just see what happens? Or I know you talked about in the past, like you definitely lean more towards trying to do like 100%.
I would say, yeah, I think about that all the time.
But it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. I don't know. I don't know if I would say I ever am at 100%. Like, I feel like if you say you did 100%, I don't know. Like,
it's easy to look back at any point and be like, I should have done this. I could have done this. I couldn't. But it's always, it's hindsight, rather.
And so, like, on this video, I didn't do as many, like, subtitles as I usually do. There's still a lot of them in there.
Yeah, wait, what? There were so many subtitles. What do you mean?
I usually do more, so I didn't do quite as many. But when I was watching some YouTube videos this week, like just on my own time, I just realized how little that does for me, you know? And I think it's helpful, and it's kind of my style as well. Like,
I think it's good for shorts, personally. I think
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
them for shorts because there's times where I can't listen to the audio, but I can
Mhm.
know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's something like it floats around like 80% of people that are on social media are not listening with volume. So anything that
crazy.
could like draw them in to like visually represent that while they're at work or whatever they're doing, it definitely
Yeah.
helps.
No, for sure. Yeah, and so that's not necessarily quite as applicable for long form. And I kind of just started doing it in my first video because that's what worked for me in shorts, and now I've just stuck with it for so long.
Well,
So I think
yeah,
I slowly
I'll
want
let
to
you know
get
I like
away-
it.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I something that I've been doing more is the like sentences at the bottom
Mm.
rather than like the overlay text that's like right in the middle and it's just one word. So I think I'm gonna slowly keep getting farther away from that because I think I think I've proven myself to hold someone's attention without doing that, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And it takes me forever to do. So
Yeah, I always wondered that how long that actually took, if it was like an AI thing or you just physically typing out each word, like
I type
captions.
everything.
That's what I'm saying. I've tried to do it before, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like mind numbing.
I've
honestly.
gotten pretty quick at it. Like, I think you'd be like, wow, that's not bad. But yeah, I know that DaVinci has like an AI thing that can do it. I just haven't taken the time to learn it, so I
Yeah.
should.
No, I feel you. You both could probably answer this, but is there something? Let me see in my notes how I worded this. Something new that you consciously tried in your content lately that you'd like to share with people, where like maybe to like the average viewer they wouldn't notice it, but for you, you were like, I've never done this before, but I would like to integrate it somehow into my content. Whether it's just like a new form of editing or new way of approaching like storyboarding or really anything. Because I think with everything that we do, we've talked about, we kind of learn something from each thing that we put out. Or so, I mean,
Well,
if you
I
can't
have-
come up with anything, I know that's kind of a loaded question.
I don't know if I think I've talked about this on here, but I've started to do the thing that I did a lot in this last video where I kind of segment my video almost. Like it
In
was
terms
nice.
of like when you work and then you're like, okay, I reached this part and then I'm good for like this work session, or what do you mean?
No. Like, so if you think about my video, it was kind of like intro,
Oh,
hard
okay,
cut,
I see.
day one. And then it was day one, and then hard cut, day two, and then hard cut, like I prefaced day two, and then I did the putting competition, and then that was the putting competition segment, and then it was the round segment, and then it was the blank segment. And that's like there's a overarching goal that I'm accomplishing, but then in kind of each segment there's like a goal I'm accomplishing. And so it's easier for me to edit because I can kind of like, it's a 37-minute video. So I kind of view it as like I throw a little bit of that overarching goal in each segment, but then in each segment it's its own little story, and so it's a little bit more tackleable. You think, oh, I'm going to make a 40-minute video. That's so daunting, right? How the heck do you do that? I think this is like a bite-sized way of doing it, and I've been doing it more and more in my videos by like doing travel or, round one, hard cut, round two, and that's been really, really helpful for sure. I feel like
No,
I
I think
have some
that's
other
a great
stuff
one.
too.
I think listeners can take something away from that. Ben, with all the content that you've been putting out for Ganon lately, do you have anything that you feel like you've been trying lately or integrating that you weren't doing like prior?
Yes. Sorry, my dog has absolutely been going bananas, which is why I'm so distracted. But my wife's about to take her out. So I'm so distracted. What was the question again?
Just things that you've consciously been trying to like integrate into your content where you're like, oh, I like want to try this and see like how it does, or things that you're like, I did this and I'm proud that I started doing this, that like maybe like a general audience wouldn't notice, but for you, you started doing it and it's one of those like building blocks?
Well, I feel like we've talked about it before, like last week, but big thing is just getting more engaged, kind of directing him a little more rather than just letting him, like, more so for the recaps. I still kind of let him do him because like I just don't want to distract him in any way. But like Santa Cruz, like that recap, we were more goofy. You could tell because it was like Santa Cruz Masters Cup. Like, you know, we had a little more fun in the video. So I guess that's the biggest thing. And just, yeah, honestly.
Caddy check-in?
Oh, yeah, caddy check-in. I came up with that. So there you go. That's one thing. I don't
awesome.
know. I feel like the recaps, here's the thing. We're going to make other great things with like practice rounds and doubles and 1v1s. I think the recaps are probably the least creative and in inspiration and least content like driven, but I think they're just necessary just for the diehard Ganon fans. So it's kind of like we're going into those videos expecting like them to, like, if it gets 10,000 views, like we're happy. So it's just one of those things that you know, it's just part of the process of, you know, I mean, some people find value in listening to Ganon's round recaps, but I know I
No.
Did he cut out? I think
for
he cut
listeners,
out for
sorry,
me.
Ben, you have your mic is cut out. But
okay,
I think,
sorry.
Oh, he's
But
back.
more so, it was, yeah, I was just saying more so like brainstorming, coming up with ideas, and you know, collaborating more. That has been pretty awesome. Like, I'll go to his house Sunday and we'll work on the thumbnail together and
That's cool.
stuff like that. So yeah, there's nothing crazy. I guess I gotta keep pushing and editing more to really find, but like I pretty much said all my profound findings I think last weekend, where I was like, bro, like this is sick. But right now we're still finding the flow. And I honestly, like, if I were to critique myself, I want to put more practice rounds or 1v1s out there. I don't like, we haven't done it ever since Santa Cruz. That was a doubles. So that's one thing I want to get more of out there. It's just, honestly, it's just, I don't know. It just, how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you just can't find people to play with, and like, so that's why we released How to Throw Far, or the Form one. And actually, I was really proud of that thumbnail. That's another thing I was pretty proud of. I think Ganon liked it, so maybe that's why. But I liked it. It definitely seemed captivating, because some of the thumbnails I have created for Ganon, I will admit, aren't like the greatest in my opinion, where it's just like, like this could be way better. And I think that's because we just need to do a better job at shooting for thumbnails. I think like the Cascade challenge thumbnail, I used like an old photo of him and just like a screen grab from the video, and like it got the job done. But I think, you know, we can definitely get a little more creative with the thumbnail. So that's another thing where I'm like, we got to start planning for thumbnails, not just Ganon posing for like 20 seconds and then, you know, dipping.
No, I mean, I think you're doing a good job, Ben. Really, like, I think you've been coming up with some like creative ideas where, like, I see Ganon constantly like on his story being like, "Yo, this video dropped. So,
Yes.
A, you're a machine. B,
Thank you.
I think it's like a bunch of videos that people definitely want to click on. I mean,
Yeah.
anything about form and like the basically like #1 player in the world, people are like,
Yeah.
click.
Yeah, exactly.
you're-
And stay tuned for this week. It's Kayak Point week, and they only play Saturday. So my goal is to pump a few more like extra videos out there. So like you can expect one probably Thursday, and then obviously we'll get the round recap. But I'm hoping to get one like Thursday, Saturday, and then Monday round recap or something like that. So I'm hoping to have 3 videos out, and one of them I think is going to be a another forum type thing. And then I really want to get him doing like a practice round or 1v1 at Kayak Point. We'll see how the cookie crumbles. Like I said, last week we didn't do it because he just didn't have anyone to do it. So it's it's just like sometimes it's how it goes.
He never wants to do it by himself, or he just feels more comfortable like doing it with someone else.
Well, so the common series has been 1v1 on his channel.
Okay.
And for Portland, I'm trying to get like a heavy hitter for Portland, like someone like crazy. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just didn't line up last week for some reason, the 1v1 or the week before 1v1s. So that's why we did the doubles. But that's something that we've been trying to kind of get back to, his 1v1 challenges that he enjoys doing himself. So
yeah, no, I'm excited to watch those. I think transparently those are, in terms of like pro YouTubers, we'll call them, that's like the kind of content that I really enjoy.
Me too.
Because
yeah,
you get to, I feel like, see the course better, and it's just more casual. It feels more
casual.
like you're like, oh, I'm watching someone play. This sounds so dumb. It feels like I'm watching someone play disc golf, and not like I don't know, kind of like what I get out of disc golf. Just like, okay, cool, they're at like experiencing this course, as opposed to like, here is the cam off the tee, here's catch cam here, and kind of like more robotic. So
yeah,
I'm
it's
looking
more
forward
of more of a behind the lens. Oh, another good idea that we have that's coming. I'll just spoil it right now so you can get excited by. Is people are always amazed at his. I think I've talked about this before. His ability to tell what's a good disc and what's a bad disc. So
I love that.
We're gonna record that because I feel like no one knows what that entails or what he's looking for. But yeah, we're gonna record like good versus bad disc and how he finds the disc, and he's gonna explain exactly what he likes. I know, like, there's dome, he loves dome, but like there's so many things where he'll like just pick up a disc and be like trash. Like I don't know how, but well, that's with all the pros. The thing I don't understand is like there will be molds of the same exact disc, different runs obviously, and like let's say like a glow buzz. I don't like, no one on tour throws glow buzz, but hypothetically, let's say there's a guy that threw a glow buzz and that was his disc. Like Ezra Robinson, that was his disc, a glow buzz. You could give him a glow buzz, same stamp and everything, and he could feel it and be like, nah, that's not the one I'm looking for. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like it looks the same, but like what is the difference? Why this one that's exact same disc, just a different run? Like what are you feeling that makes it be like, nah, that's trash? Like, cause I've seen people like walk up to pros and be like, hey bro, like, hey, try this out, and just try and give them this, and then they'll feel it, or they'll tell them and be like, yeah, I'm pretty picky at, like, I'm all set with that one. And it's like, wow,
that's amazing. Just roasting, like, hey, I appreciate it, this disc sucks though.
It's just not like meant for their game. It's not that the disc sucks. It's just like, yeah, like, especially again, he's so picky. I don't know what he's picky about. So even when we make the video, I'm even gonna learn a little tidbits.
Yeah, right. I mean,
that's awesome.
Even like when we talk about destroyers, like the most famous and infamous mold, in the way that it's always, every single one is different. Like I feel like one that, let's say if Ganon were to like hold or throw a destroyer, which I mean, DD3 is pretty much that. One that might not be good for him would probably be good for like other people, because it probably flips easier, or like,
yes,
because I don't have the like Ganon level of like feel a disc, but there are certain times when like your hand just knows, you're like, oh, this is the one.
Yeah definitely.
Yeah, like he has a
awesome.
gray DD3 S-Line that Discmania released that is like his roller. It's so flippy. That's the thing. He's like, it doesn't even fly like a DD3. That it's just, but he uses it as a roller / like really like flippy type disc. So it's just
insane.
That type of thing where like then he has DD3s that are stable. It's just like there's way too much variance.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, right. Ben, the people need to know, including myself. You posted a video of Gannon putting on the green, and a deer comes by. Where did the deer go? I need to know, dude, where the deer went.
Gannon said, "Get off my green, bro." and then it just started levitating into the sky. It was like, oh.
What a surprise that the nature boy himself is asking about the deer.
Dude, I know.
Dude, so it was so funny. So people don't know that his upshot before that, the deer was like right there. He threw it over the deer in the woods, and then it ran away. And then as he's putting, that's when I was recording him, and it comes back. Like, it's probably just used to humans. I told him it would have been sick. Obviously, you can't think about it in the moment. Like he did the right thing. It would have been sick if he just like saw the deer and just putted it right over it and drained it. Like that would have been on Sports Center, NFL.
Yeah, the content.
Like everywhere. That would have been everywhere. But he was like, oh man, like it's just one of those things like you don't think of. Well, also he was trying to win. Like at that point.
Right.
Well, at that hole.
Yeah, he was chasing it down.
He was out of it actually at that hole. That was like, all right, it's over. But before that hole, it was like, okay, if I birdie here, I could win. Turns out it didn't matter because AB's an animal. But at that point, he was like, I could win this.
Holy cow! Yeah, that deer just straight up goes away. I didn't even realize.
Ben, I watched that video like 6 times, trying to figure out. I'm like, no, I must have been stupid. Like, what happened to it? It just perfectly lines up where you can't see it leave.
Dude, it duped me. You can see me. I go to the left of Gannon, and there's no deer. So when I try to go back to the right, it's like it just like stopped in front of Gannon and just ran away. It was weird.
That is crazy. And it kind of almost seems like the video loops, too, just with the way.
Yeah, I did that. I noticed that, too. It was like accidental.
I'll just own it.
It's like perfect. Holy cow. Dude, wow. That's crazy.
Absolute banger video. I guess while we're on the topic of Cascade Challenge, Ben, you were there on the grounds. So like this is an event that it seemed like a lot of pros struggled, where people were like, "Oh, it's a shorter course, like it's going to be absolutely shredded." What did it feel like being there on the grounds and just like experiencing it through like the players' eyes?
I mean, obviously it's super cool just being on the grounds. I feel like I get so much more knowledge and frame of reference than I did like when I'm talking about it on staggered stance just at home. It's definitely something really cool that I get to be up close and see these players shred because they make it look so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like given the front 9 on that course is easy comparatively, like for pros. They're like all the shots are right there. They're pretty self-explanatory. But then the back 9, that's where people really started to mess up.
Hole 12.
Yeah, 11, 12, like all of the back 9 was really tough. But it's just crazy to see these pros just. You don't think, like, you don't realize how good these pros are until you start thinking like they're hitting every gap off the tee, and that's the difference. That we would not hit those gaps. Whereas like you don't think about it because they're all hitting the same gap, and it's like, bro, that is so easy. But then us, it's like, nope. If you were off the fairway on any of those holes, you're pretty much bogeying. That's what I'm saying. But it just they make it look so easy because it's just like they're hitting the gap with no mistakes.
Yeah, and I feel like a course like this, because it really tries to have you throw a specific way, it's not good enough just to hit the gap. It's like you have to control the entire flight of the disc and know like where it's landing. So, and I would imagine like that's a hot commodity to have, and not everyone on tour probably has that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it was a cool course in the terms like of technicality. There like the biggest complaint was there's just trees that shouldn't be there from the pros, where if they cleared that up, but I guess they're not allowed to cut some trees and they got to get improved and stuff like that, which makes sense. So that's why there's like some of the holes are just trees. Like 18 was a big talking point for at least just for the pros that I heard, where it's just like, you know, you could rifle a shot down there and perfect, and there's just like there's no real lane once you get down there. It's kind of like just get lucky. Like you can throw a better shot than the person and kick right because you just hit a tree and they missed it.
Yeah, I feel like I heard the general sentiment about the Cascade Challenge was that I feel like going into it, no one was like, "Oh, this course is like insanely hard." I feel like everyone kind of expected the pros to shred it, and then I feel like kind of based on scores, no one really like went nutso. Like I feel like in Gannon's video, he was talking like, "Oh, 6 to 7 a day," like. I'd be like okay with that.
Yeah. And then they shot like 3, 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if he had averaged 6 to 7, he wins the event.
Yes.
And so, and it didn't seem like he was saying like 6 to 7 is gonna be a winning. Like he seemed like he was gonna be just kind of happy with it. And so I feel like the sentiment going in was that everyone was gonna shred it, and then it didn't go down like that. Like being there and like talking to pros, and I mean talking to Gannon, like were people shocked by that? Like was that unexpected, or did it just end up being like, oh wait, actually this course is really hard and everyone it's hard?
So funny. The first round I was with Gannon and Luke Taylor. I think they shot around the same, probably the same, 4 down, and they were pissed with their rounds. Pissed. So they went off early. So they're like, "Bro, are you kidding me?" And then at the end of the day, they're
conditions.
They're like, or at least Gannon, I'm somehow on chase card. Like that's how unexpected it was. It was like he was pissed. He was pretty upset, and he was on.
Well,
chase
I mean,
card.
I feel like he got top 5, right? And he was like, I feel like he didn't think he played well at all.
No,
I mean, in the video, he was talking about missing like freaking 10 C1 putts or something like that.
Dude, he's struggling with his putt. Yeah, he missed like a 10-footer, like a 20-footer a few times. Very uncharacteristic. But I'll tell you this. Yeah, like there was, I think, 2 rounds, the second and third round. He could have been 5 for 5. He landed, like, I think the last round, he like landed in the circle like 8 out of 9 times on the front 9, and it was like only like 7. But the second round, he was 3 down through 3. Should have been 5 down through 5. He missed like in the circle 25, 20-footers.
Oh, are you gonna talk about the Mando?
Oh, the Mando. Yeah, I'll talk about the Mando. But in the second round, but then he was 3 down through 3, and then finished 3 down. So that's kind of like how the course has teeth. It's like. Yeah, he's thinking like, oh my goodness, like 3 down.
Well, I think that hole 12 is up there in the running with like Northwood Black's hardest hole and some of those other hardest
pretty
holes.
Tough. It's because there's like they need to clear this bush area after the landing zone. There's just a bunch of bushes that you just gotta like tomahawk over. There's no real line. Yeah. But yeah, hole 12. He gets called for missed Mando.
Not hole 12.
Oh, sorry, hole 7. What'd you say? You just said it.
I don't remember which one it is. It's the 490-foot par 3.
Yeah. I think it's like 10 or 11. It might be 10. Hole 10. I don't know. Or 9. It doesn't matter.
One of those.
Anyways.
So he misses the Mando, allegedly. No, so we did look back. It looks like he did miss the Mando 100%.
Wait, what? In the video, it does not look like he missed the Mando.
Yeah, so in the video, it's because I didn't think he missed it either. Because I'm looking at the white sign, and I'm like, dude, like it looks like it goes behind the white sign. But I didn't realize he had to tell me there's a red arrow sticking left of the white sign. And you can't really see it because it's so grainy. And the disc definitely covers over the red arrow that's sticking out from the white sign. So that's why we were like, okay, he missed the Mando. But
did you talk to the spotter? Like, how close was he? Do you know?
The thing is, with me filming and caddying, I wasn't able to tell because I'm looking down at my Osmo and trying to zoom in, so I wasn't entirely sure. But I don't know exactly, so I can't speak on it. I know Gannon was obviously upset.
Yeah.
I don't think he was upset at the spotter. I think obviously it probably felt like that to the spotter or something like that because, when you're 3 down through 3 and should have been 5 down through 5 and then now you just like I think that was good. He bogeyed the hole before and then he's going to bogey again there. He was pretty bummed, but like I think he was just like are you sure it went Mr. Mando? And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then Gannon just like, and he, he was just doing his mumblings to himself. He's like, are you kidding me? So we weren't sure.
That guy was standing at the Mando. Like, for him to miss it, it would be
Yeah, exactly. Gannon never questioned, never was like, bro, that kid, like, I can't believe it. Like,
he's out to get me.
We just didn't know. Like, we literally, because I'm pretty sure the live coverage, at least someone texted me that the live coverage said it might have made it. So we were so confused. That's why we had to go back and look at the video and be like, oh, okay. Which, by the way,
it's also interesting because of the rules, right? Technically, a spotter doesn't really matter. It's the card decision. So if the card was like, oh, yeah, we can't tell, technically benefit goes to the player, no? Like,
I think Gannon just accepted it because, like, it's just one of those things. Like, because he did miss it, and then if he did get, like, the car was like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, like there would be more of an outrage that he cheated.
No, for sure, and like, yeah, it'd just be a bad look, especially with the spotter there. But I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to, like, especially if his, whoever was on his card also was like, yeah, I don't really know. He easily could have been like, okay, well, no one knows. Benefit goes to the player. I'm taking it. Right?
So that's
because
why
technically his spotter doesn't matter, even though.
Well, yeah, we just listened to the spotter's word. It wasn't anything like, it was just like he said it. He said, "Are you sure?" And then he's like, "Yeah," and then that was it. There wasn't like back and forth. But that's why I think there has to be, because we had a marshal on our card. There should have been.
Oh, wow.
There has to be in the future a challenge. Like, that is too crucial of a moment for, like, that ruined Gannon's, like, it set him back a lot. It's like he went 3 down for 3, then all of a sudden, like, it's like he's like 1 down or whatever he was. Like, you know.
With a challenge, though, there has to be filming of everything, right?
No. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying.
Oh, challenge with the marshal, and the marshal makes a decision?
No, well, it was already being filmed. Here's my opinion. I think since not every card has a marshal, and like not every card has cameras, whatever, but the cards that do have cameras should be able to challenge. He should have been able, in the future, I think, the PGA, he should be able to challenge it just to see, okay, like, because it was so close. Like, yes, the marshal was right. But I'm just saying, think a bit about it as this is 3 holes left at Worlds, and Gannon is up 1, and the spotter says he missed Mando when he really made it. At that, even you can watch a DG and all you want. If the spotter says and they accepted that he missed it, even if he did make it, there's nothing you can do. You can't go back. And I know that's such a drastic like story and situation, but I'm just saying there's gonna be a time.
Well, I mean, also, dude, something to consider is that spotter's probably a volunteer, and with disc golf betting being a thing now, like, what if he bet the over on Gannon? Like, that's legit, dude.
That's
a real possibility.
That is a legit. Like, that could happen. I doubt it if it ever happens, but like that'd be crazy if it does. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why at least there should be on the camera cards. Let's say it was Worlds and the spotter got it wrong. Like I said, the spotter got 100% right. Respect the spotter. Like, great job. He did a great job. I'm saying if there's a scenario where that'd be crazy for a sport. There's so much replaying challenges in every other sport. That'd be crazy for a sport to someone to lose an event just because a spotter got it wrong and there's nothing you can do about it because it was too close to tell. I think in the future there 100% should be a challenge, and it should be like the marshal goes to the booth or whatever, watches it over, talks to people. Maybe you call up someone in the DGN satellite booth wherever they are, and then they have an official there that says it did or did not make the Mando, and
yeah, but that's if everyone's being recorded.
No, I'm saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if everyone's being
how do you
recorded.
challenge without?
Sorry. Only the recorded cards is what I'm saying. I thought you were saying like it wouldn't be fair. Like everyone has to be recorded for that to happen. I was saying like it only, in my
I kind of
opinion,
think
only.
everyone has to have the same opportunity, though. Like,
Well,
you have to record every card so everyone can challenge, because
that's
if
what I'm saying.
you're
I
like,
disagree.
only the top 5 cards get recorded and only they can challenge.
Top 2,
Then you're just
3, even.
giving an advantage to
The rich
the
get
people.
richer.
Yeah, the rich get Richard. Richard.
Well, my opinion. That's why my opinion is it should just be final day. Top 3 cards get a challenge, because when has there been a 4th card winner ever? That is my like happy medium.
Didn't Simon win from 4th card like 2 years ago at MCO or something?
I have no idea if it's 4th
no
card.
clue.
If it is,
It was the year where everyone was winning off of Chase card, and he was on like, Maple Hill maybe? Didn't he win from like way behind that year?
Yeah, he shot 10 down. I don't really know like what, but I'm just saying like
This is
I
a Funsie
think
fact.
the happy medium is
Classic.
final round. You can have video coverage challenges only final round. Like, so Gannon wouldn't have been able
Yeah.
to challenge there.
I agree with that, as long as everyone gets that, you know? Yeah, hey, maybe it's only final round, but that means that DGN has to record every card on the
That's what
final
I'm saying.
round.
I don't think so. I think it's fine to have the top 3 cards, because that's where it matters. Who's gonna win?
There's no way that would get approved, because who's gonna win? But also, I mean, especially at this point, every player is fighting for their livelihood. So a stroke in one direction changes a couple $100 at these events. Like, yeah, you make the argument, it just matters to determine who's gonna win. But to them, it's, am I gonna eat at freaking Texas Roadhouse, or am I gonna eat at McDonald's?
So why is there not a marshal on every card? What's the difference?
No, I think there should be a marshal on every card. I'm of that camp,
But that's what I'm saying. What you're asking is,
it's unreasonable. It's unreasonable.
Yeah,
sure.
You want DGN to follow me, and he like I could have entered that Shelton tournament.
I'm not necessarily saying
for 18 cards, just for me shaking at the trees.
No, for sure. I'm not necessarily saying that it makes sense, but like I think that's what has to happen for it to be fair, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's just not a rule until 10 years from now when disc golf is huge.
Yep. But that's my opinion.
It's my
I
opinion.
think, yeah. That's my opinion too.
Let us know down in the comments who you agree with.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good point. Do you agree with there should be challenges, film challenges on the final day for the top 3 cards, or not? Is that like I think yours is just like no.
No, I think there should be challenges. I like that.
Wait,
It
but
just
you
needs
want
to be for every card.
you want camera? So you're in the camp of no, because that would never happen. There would never be a cameraman on every card ever. I really don't think so.
I'm of the camp of yes.
So what
am I
is
being
the
absurd,
debate then?
Sacko? I feel like I'm not being absurd.
What is the debate then? What are they gonna
I'm trying
agree?
I feel like I'm even trying to analyze this. I think in like an
What
ideal
are we debating
world,
then? We're on the
I'm
same
talking
side.
About an ideal
the way that
world.
Josh is talking is like in an ideal world, he's for it.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
In an
But
ideal
you're speaking
world,
more.
I
you're
agree.
speaking
In an
more
ideal
realistically,
world,
or, like, current
I agree with
state.
that, obviously. But we're not in an ideal world.
Well, I see what you're trying to say, Ben. You're trying to say that since we're in our world, I'm saying no rather than your solution. And my answer to that is no. I mean, I think if we have to compromise, I'm happy with your way. I think having at least some level.
All right, guys, don't comment.
You're like, am I being crazy? I feel like I'm not.
No.
You're like,
no.
laughing.
I just no. Yeah, the compromise. I just thought it was funny how you were like, comment below whose side you're on, and then we're on the same side.
I was gonna say, welcome to Funsie, where we all agree, but we're saying different things, or the same thing in different ways.
I meant yes, we're both on the challenge side, but like,
no,
okay.
Is it okay to only do it for the top cards, or is it okay, or do you have to do it for everyone?
Yes, that
those
is
are the two
okay.
sides.
I'm picking up where you're putting it down. Yes, answer that below if it's okay.
We're
Okay,
just
boom.
horrible communicators.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
anyone
like,
can make a
we're on the
podcast.
same-
All right.
Okay, well, moving on. Good topic of conversation.
Real quick, as we kind of start to wrap up the podcast, I guess I'll just share what I've been up to. So
Please.
on my way to work this past week, my car broke down. So it
Ooh.
is at the shop. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just like the alternator. So that was getting worked on. So I rented a car so that I could go to work and still do what I got to do. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was just like, Kiara and I talked, and I was just like, what if we just like go to Cape Cod? Like, we have a rental right now. We may as well like take advantage of it because I'm already paying for it. And then like her parents came along.
Oh,
So
that's
it's just
awesome.
like a random impromptu trip to Cape Cod, and like everyone like split the cost, so like it worked out perfectly. And it was just like a disc golf trip. It like could not have been the more perfect of like experiencing local stuff in that area of like, okay, banging seafood. There's a little bit of just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, let's look up this beach. Okay, let's send it. Just go to this beach. There's, for anyone that doesn't know, there's a really popular brewery in Massachusetts that's called Treehouse. I had no idea that there's one that's in,
Sandwich.
that's in Cape Cod, but I found it just
Big
completely
sandwich.
random. So like, got to hit up like an awesome brewery. For anyone that hasn't played like Cape Cod disc golf before, there's pretty much like 2 18-hole courses that are open to everyone, and they're both really good, honestly. So if you're kind of looking for either a day trip, or honestly, even if you're flying in to like go play Maple Hill or something special, it might be worth it to you to like go head over to Cape Cod, which is probably an hour and a half away or something like that from Maple Hill, maybe like a little less than that. Because you get to go experience the beach as well. Like, Cape Cod is like a super popular spot for people to vacation. So like, we spent money to go whale watching, and it was the best whale watching I've ever seen in my life. And even
You
like
saw
the
whales?
people that, yeah, and dolphins, and
Wow.
I'm not kidding. Like, you would like look out on the horizon, and you could like, I'm sure you could count how many whales there were, but it just went on for miles. Like, all the whales that are just doing whatever. Even the people that were like running the like tour service were like, yeah, don't expect every single time to be like this. Like, this is insane.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
like
So-
a magical weekend. Or
Yeah, everything was
whenever
just
you guys went
very-
and did it.
Yeah, everything was just very synergistic, and like the disc golf was fun. Had a good time with family. So I guess
Did
the,
you-
the takeaway from all this is just like, sometimes you're just like, oh, we got like our typical weekend, whatever, and then it's like, what if we just don't do that and we just go do this, like a day trip? And it ended up being like probably one of the best trips that I've ever been on.
That's
If you're
awesome.
able to do it, try doing it, coming up sometime soon, because it's a lot of fun.
Did you like my comment on your Instagram post?
I did appreciate, because it, for a change, is not something that is like a joke or sarcastic or something like that, but realistically,
those-
that's the kind of content that I feel like a lot of people, or like my audience anyways, likes mostly.
Yeah, so for those listening who might not know what we're talking about his weekend, Sajko made a really beautiful little cinematic, aesthetic, short, or vertical content thing that said, I don't remember the exact words, but it was pretty much just like, go enjoy, go whatever.
This is
go
your sign to explore.
Yeah, this is your sign to explore. And it was cinematic, beautiful, awesome. And I commented on it, and I was like, what did I say? I said, I love a non-ironic Sajko post or something
I
like
did see that. I did see that.
because
yeah.
Sajko's brand is, what's up, nerds, and then this was just like, and it was awesome, and it was great, but
Yeah.
it was just so funny to see it. All right, so question for you.
Mhm.
Do you want to do more of that now? Like, is that going to
Yeah,
start being a thing more, or?
I think so. It's something that I've been kind of peppering in a little bit lately, just to like shake it
Yes,
up,
you have the pepper.
because I think a lot of
Life if you ace, life if you don't.
Yes.
well, yeah, exactly. Like, that's like a cool thing that I feel like did really well for like a disc golf audience, which
Yeah.
I was like stoked about. Basically, like the takeaway for something like that. And I guess for any listener that has no idea what we're talking about, trying to audio describe what a post is like, you can always go on my account, or even like I did one for another round as well. Basically, just like no matter how you perceive something, life is the same either way. So it's all about like perceive it however you would like to, I guess is kind of what the takeaway is. Yeah, I kind of want to do a little bit more of that, because maybe you've seen it occasionally on another round. Just kind of been sort of appealing to people's nostalgia, I guess, in a way. I think people are going, when they go on social media, it's kind of like a form of escapism. So they either, when they go on and see like someone throw and be like, yo, look at this sick shot, it better be the sickest shot ever that blows their mind.
sure.
Because they're seeing so many people try to like show their shot or some cool hole or whatever, like multiple times a day. So they pretty much go on and either want to laugh, or they want to like, they just want to feel something that is not whatever they're experiencing in that moment and the reason why they're on their phone. So whether it's just like some sort of emotion of just like, man, I miss my friends, and I want to like, I don't know, feel like I'm connecting with something. So that's kind of why I've been trying to do more of that style lately, and I enjoy making it. So like maybe you've seen a couple of the Austin Turner ones that I've done lately. Like he was playing in like the Redwood Forest, and I think it's, or like Kona one where it's like this and no stress.
Yeah.
Basically trying to create like a vibe as opposed to I don't know, just like a shot, because people, they get tired of that after a while. So it's always like,
Caught a vibe.
what's the next thing? Like what are people into? So that's been some personal experimentation. And does my audience like it? People that are really close to me like it, but like a general audience that's following me for the sake of some dumb meme material, like borderline AI generated material, they're not as much into it, but that's fine.
A ballerina,
Or just keep
cappuccino.
sheer exposure and just see what happens.
Yeah, dude. I like it. I support.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Any closing thoughts for either of you guys?
Thanks for listening to Funsie. Please subscribe so we can get monetized, and that would help us. We are in the negative with Funsie. No, like, I'm just joking. We're like probably.
I mean, we are.
$100 each, like nothing crazy. I mean, I'm actually more in the negative, but it's fine.
Yeah. Anyways, point being, I mean, echo the sentiment that Ben shared. Josh, you have anything?
I do not think I have anything. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate you guys.
And let us know how you think of Riverside. I think we'll just stick with this. I mean, it's kind of seamless. I want the different scenes, but like I think that's such a much more elaborate process, so it might just be easier to do what we're doing here. I feel like a lot of podcasts just do that. So let us know if you like
Can you do scenes in Riverside?
You have to post edit it. That's the thing, I think, where it's like, you know, you gotta go back like and edit clips, and so that would just be a whole nother insane process. But they have a magic editor, which is so cool. So like, I think an AI thing will like make it so when I'm talking now, I'll pop up, hello, or it'll be us three. I don't know. Whatever happens.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Thank you for checking out Funsie, and until next time, bye-bye.
Peace.
Funsie.